Hi guys, today we are making Stingray Assam Pedas or Assam Pedas Ikan Pari. It is spicy, sour, fragrant. As I'm talking to you right now, my mouth is just salivating. It is definitely a dish that will excite your palate. Alright, so for those of you who have not heard of Assam Pedas before, you're obviously not a Malaysian. But to give you a little bit of context as to what Assam Pedas is, it is a stew that is stewed together with chilies, tamarind. It's very fragrant, it's super spicy. Well, I like the super spicy version, but it's something that you can adjust. The protein, it's predominantly fish, yeah, but at certain occasions, even beef is being used as well. You've got Assam Pedas daging tetel, where they use the tendons of the beef, but predominantly Assam Pedas uses fish. And the type of fish, it can be stingray, a snapper, a whitefish, or even at times mackerel. Okay, so it really is a matter of preference. Now, let's get into it. The first thing to make a really good Assam Pedas is your rempah. Okay, let's start blending. Alright, so here I have my dried chilies, about 30 to 35 pieces of dried chilies that I've boiled in some hot water, and we're going to blend them. I've tried removing as much of the seeds as I can, yeah, but don't worry if you have a couple that's caught in there. So we've got our chili paste done, out into a bowl. Next, we're going to start preparing our other ingredients for the rempah. 2 red onions, slice. Set it aside. Together with the onions, we're going to be adding in about 10 pieces of shallots. Now, the onions are going to give a great thickness to the sauce, whereas the shallots will give that nice sweetness. Yeah, so that's why I'm mixing both. If you just use onions, it's not that you can't do it, you can, but I prefer with a little bit of shallots in there to give that extra sweetness. Assam Pedas is very well known in Melaka and Johor. Yeah, these are the 2 main states that are known for their Assam Pedas. And even within Melaka itself, there are a variety of different Assam Pedas variations. For example, you have the Malay Assam Pedas and you have the Peranakan version of an Assam Pedas. They are very similar, but they deviate slightly in terms of the aromatics and taste. Alright, so today I'm going to be sharing with you a Peranakan version of Assam Pedas. So in that we're using turmeric. The Peranakan version of Assam Pedas, you can spot it just by looking at it. Yeah, the Malay version of Assam Pedas is slightly darker red, whereas the Peranakan version of an Assam Pedas has a sort of brighter red orangey color, and that is from the use of turmeric. And along with turmeric, we're also going to be using some Galangal or lengkuas. Cut the turmeric, set that aside, lengkuas. And along with that, I'm also going to be adding in some lemongrass. Now, with the lemongrass, you only want to use the tip, yeah, the white parts of the lemongrass, because that's where all that flavor is at. And to that, I'm also going to be adding in some Belacan. Yeah, get your favorite brand of Belacan, whatever it may be. All right, this I have here about 30 grams of Belacan. We've done blending the chili paste. Now we're going to start blending these ingredients. First off, you always want to start off going in with the onions, because the onions are the softest of them all. I'm adding in a splash of water. Now you can use a blender to do this. I'm only using a food processor because my blender jug just gave way. All right, now I'm going to add in the harder ingredients. A little bit more water. Before I forget, I almost forgot. Candlenuts. Yeah, we're adding in about 5 numbers of candlenuts. And garlic, about 6 cloves of garlic. A little bit more water. Now the reason I'm not adding too much of water at once is because I don't want the sauteing time to be too long. There we go. Ah, beautiful. You can smell the turmeric, the lengkuas, the lemongrass coming together. It's one of the reasons why I love Peranakan versions of almost anything, because the Peranakan uses a lot of aromatics in their cooking. Yeah. Now, add in your oil. Now, the first thing we're going to add in is the Belacan, the shrimp paste. Once the shrimp paste is in and it's smelling really, really beautiful, we add in the rempah. Now, you want to fry this rempah until it gets nice and aromatic. This will take a good 10 to 15 minutes. And as you're frying, use the wooden spoon and just break down the belacan. Now, the fish that we will be using for this recipe is stingray. The nice sweetness from the stingray really contrasts the sour, spicy flavor of the stew. Now, you can use, as I mentioned, other types of fish like snappers, mackerels as well. That's no problem. Gerapu, any type of white fish that you like. Now, condiments. Yeah, I'm also going to be adding in an eggplant. This is optional. Not everybody adds eggplant in their Assam Pedas, but I find it gives a nice it acts like a nice sponge. It absorbs all that flavor from the stew, and when you bite into it, it releases back that flavors. Okay? Now, I'm not just going to add it in just as is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of fry them first. Yeah, this will add another layer of flavor onto the eggplant, and it looks a lot more presentable after it's fried. So cut them into long wedges like this. I'm just going to put them in the air fryer, grease it up, and into the air fryer this goes. I'll be frying it at 205 degrees for about 10 minutes. All right, now once we see that the rempah is sort of dry, all that water that we've added in and its natural moisture has been evaporated, and you can smell that wonderful fragrance of all the ingredients. Now we can add in the chili paste. Once you add in the chili paste, again, we got to saute out all that liquid and get it nice and dry until the oil splits, or well, the oil separates. Oil splits is what it's a direct translation of what we say in Malay, pecah minyak. Now, this is a clear sign of the oil separating from the paste. So you can see that the oil has already separated from the paste itself. Beautiful. Now we add in water. So I've added in about 1 liter of water, and now we're adding in the Assam paste. 50 grams of tamarind paste. Give it a mix. Now the sugar here is really just to balance out the flavor. You don't want to get sort of Assam Pedas that has a sweet profile to it. Just a little bit of sugar to balance out the acidity from the tamarind paste. Now we're going in with some salt. So what we're doing here now, we're just going to allow it to simmer for a good 5 minutes to allow all that flavors to marry together. All right, so now, after about 10 minutes or so of simmering, now we're going to add in some other ingredients. This is Bunga Kantan, ginger torch flower. The Malay Assam Pedas uses daun kesum as the perfume, so to speak, but in the Peranakan one, ginger torch flower is used. We add in our ginger torch flower and let that slowly perfume. Tomatoes. Here I have lime leaves. Now this is very, very important. Yeah, so I'm just going to remove the stem, and I'm using about 10 pieces of lime leaf because I absolutely love the flavor, well, the fragrance that it gives a dish. Now before we add it in, just squish them. This will help release all the natural sort of essential oils into this stew. Now we're going in with our fish. Put in your fish. You don't want it on a vigorous rumble. You don't want the stew to be on a vigorous boil. Have it on a gentle simmer, yeah, to cook the fish gently so the fish stays nice and soft. Give it a little mix and cover it up. Allow it to simmer for a good 10 minutes or until the fish is cooked through. All right, there we go, beautiful. Just checking on everything. Now you want to be gentle not to break the fish apart, yeah? But this looks good. Now I like to add lady's fingers at the end because we don't want the lady's fingers to overcook aubergine or eggplant. This goes in as well. Give it a good mix. Keep it covered until the lady's fingers are cooked and we are ready to serve. Look at that, beautiful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is Assam Pedas Ikan Pari or Stingray Assam Pedas. All right, now for a taste, this, oh my goodness. The flavors. You're looking for that sour, spicy that just hits that spot. You don't want anything that's too sour or too spicy or too sweet for that matter. You just want something that's nice and well balanced. This is how we do it, right? Get a little bit of rice in there, get a little bit of the egg, then you get that gravy all over that rice, a little bit of egg, cut into that, get the fish out. So comforting. Now, I hope you guys give this recipe a try. For all you Malaysians who are watching this, I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. If you've not tried this version of Assam Pedas, I hope that you give it a try and let me know what you think. For those of you who are listening or hearing Assam Pedas for the very first time, I hope you as well give this a try and let me know what you think about it. All right, take care guys, love you all. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button, okay? Peace.